So today we have Alex with us. Uh, Hi, Alex. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Good morning. I'm good. How
And
are you guys doing?
yeah, so it's morning for Alex and it's evening for us in India here. So Alex has gone to Emory University and also he has studied in Harvard and he studied data science there. I'll not take much time. And Alex, can you take over, please?
Yes, of course. Good morning. I know it's evening at your time zone, so good evening to you guys. It's certainly a pleasure for me to be here, and thank you to Growth Valley community for inviting me and granting me the opportunity to speak with all of you. I'm gonna share my screen real quick and briefly talk about myself. And if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to ask along the way. I'm happy to answer. All right, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So my name's Alex. I'm from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's a state in the U.S. It's on the East Coast. It's shown here in the map. It's this red state, which is if you were to fly directly from North Carolina to India, that's 18 hours and 10 minutes. If I were to fly from my hometown to Dubai, that's almost 20 hours. Okay, and for me, I went to Emory University, which is a college in Atlanta, Georgia. I graduated in 2020, which is like 4 years ago. I studied computer science and applied math and statistics. I got a bachelor's of science from Emory. And then after I graduated, COVID hit. And at that time, I moved to Boston and I joined a research lab for a year. I worked there, and after that, I started my grad school degree at Harvard. I did a data science there and graduated last year in 2023. And these are some images of the campuses. This is at Emory. You can see that it's oh yeah right. Right, the campus, and then you have the skyline, and then this is one of the most iconic places on the campus. And then here is a little bit about me. This is mom and dad when I graduated from Harvard. This is I presume a lot of you already know who this is. This is the John Harvard statue. You can see that one of his shoes. It's really shiny. People believe that as a tourist, you touch it, you're gonna get straight A's. Okay, and then there's me again, and then I have a sister. That's the picture in the lower right corner. She's in med school right now. Very proud of her. So outside of school, outside of work, I'm also a human being. I would like to enjoy life. I am a big foodie. I would like to try out different restaurants. I like to eat. This is this picture right here. The first picture is a beef Wellington from Ramsay's Kitchen. You guys probably know him, one of the most famous chefs in the world. And then Italian food, and I also like to travel. One of my favorite places, some of my favorite places are Italy, Egypt, Czech Republic. I really like ancient civilization. Do we have any questions for me, concerns? Okay.
Any questions right now? Okay, we'll go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. So I just want to share some pictures, some images of like doing my time at Harvard. This is the campus. In Boston, we have 6 months of winter. It's always cold, like always snowing in the winter. Winter doesn't end until mid-April, sometimes late April. You can see in the first image, there's a huge storm that week. We had that storm for 2 weeks straight. It was snowing, and John Harvard statue was covered in snow, pure white, it's gorgeous. And then some of the buildings on campus, the one on the second one, the third one, the fourth one, that's the Memorial Hall at Harvard. You can go in there. There's a there's like a chapel and there's a huge lecture hall. That lecture hall can obtain 600 kids in one lecture, so it's huge. And I also received my diploma in there. And then the picture on the lower left corner, that's just the outside of the campus during the winter. It was raining and the snow has melted. And the last picture here, it's the law school, Harvard Law School. I took a class from Harvard Law School during my very last semester, and I'll talk more about it when we get there during today's talk. And here's some pictures of what school looks like at Harvard. You have to give presentations from time to time, and this is what the seminars look like. And with this lady in the middle, that's my favorite professor from Harvard. She's a law professor. She also graduated from Emory. It's a lovely class. It's one of the most challenging classes I've ever taken in my life. And I took a picture with her in the end. I also passed the class. So wonderful. And that's me on the bottom presenting for our capstone projects. And right, so I also like to hang with friends. So here's some pictures of
So
me.
yeah, Alex, we have a question from Arush. Yes, Arush.
Yes, please go ahead.
So I wanted to ask, earlier you did BE and now you have pursued law.
Oh, so I did not pursue law. So I started Harvard.
Alex, just first, when we are taking questions from students, we can stop sharing screen so that we can see you more clear.
Yes, got it. Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay,
Yes, that's better. Yeah.
wonderful. So I did not pursue a law degree from Harvard. I started at Harvard, and at any university, once you fulfill your required courses or the electives, you have some room to take the courses that you want. So then it's called cross-registration. So my school, it's in School of Engineering, and I'm able to cross-register and take classes from business school, from law school, from med school. And during my last semester, since I have already fulfilled my data science requirements, I decided to take a course from business school and also take a course from the law school. It's called patent law. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, great questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
More questions? Any other questions? Yes, Arush.
No, I
Another
just
one?
rose my hand.
All right. Okay. So, Alex, how many students usually are there in a class in Harvard? I believe you can just enter the class and there are hundreds of students sitting together.
So it depends. So I guess I'll start from the top. So for undergrad, right, you're able to just attend classes, and with intro level classes, you usually have hundreds of kids in your class, right? The first intro to, let's say, computer science, you usually have hundreds of kids, and then as you move up to a sophomore, junior, senior, you get less and less students in the class because some kids they got wiped out, or they decided to pursue other majors. So you have hundreds of kids in the classroom, and if you're not going to take the class for credits, you can just enter. If the professor is okay with it, you can just enter and then sit in and then hear them out. Mhm.
That's interesting. But the professors are able to teach or engage hundreds of students, or it's just that you go in for knowledge and that's it?
So with the intro classes, you usually have lectures, and the lectures, it's 2 to 3 times a week. And if you guys meet 3 times a week, then each class will be roughly 50 to 60 minutes. And if you meet 2 times a week, that's 75 minutes per lecture. And that's usually for knowledge, right? You go in there, the professor will stay in the front to present the PowerPoint, share the knowledge, and they will have TAs, teaching assistants, in the classroom, and the teaching assistant will host labs or sessions, and you go there for specific questions that you have. And obviously, the professors have office hours.
Okay. Mansi has a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a question regarding the credits. So what credits can we take that will further help us get into the university? I'm looking for a business major, business and economics major. So any extracurriculars that I have to focus on or any summer programs or any suggestions, please?
So when I mentioned credits, I was referring to the number of credits that you need to fulfill in order to graduate from that degree, from that school, right? So that's separate from the credits or the achievements that you have to get into the college, right? So and we'll also dive into how you can how you can have unique stories to get into the college, such as like having like being here, like entrepreneurship, and you have to do some unique stuff. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Kavish has a question.
So, good morning, Mr. Alex. I would like to ask, so after college, what are your career plans? As
My
a
career-
Harvard graduate, what are you planning on doing forward?
Right. So I'm currently working as a full-time data scientist for a auto insurance company in the US. But outside of work, I'm also pursuing entrepreneurship. I'm also working on a project. The reason why I'm having this full-time job is obviously for the financial stability. Because when you run your entrepreneurship, unless your family is wealthy, unless they're willing to support you, otherwise you're gonna be able to sustain your own business, right? So that's what I'm up to. But long answer short, to answer your question, entrepreneurship is also my goal, and I've done it in the past, and I'm doing it again.
Thank you.
So, what kind of entrepreneurship are you?
Take the line,
What
Baba.
business?
Take care.
What business are you
Sunil.
pursuing?
A business I'm doing now.
Sunil.
Okay, can you hear me like this?
Yeah, now
Okay.
now you can start. Yes, everyone was muted.
Right, no problem. So the project I'm working on also relates to AI, what you guys are going to talk about today, and it's going to help kids to or help the researcher to analyze multiple papers in a short period of time, or ask AI to answer any sort of questions, and we're able to generate podcasts based on these input papers. And the idea is to help researchers to analyze, to understand papers quickly and efficiently. And then they're also able to search for millions of papers in our search engine, in our database. Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Come on, everyone, ask questions. Alex is here for us.
So,
Go ahead.
so as a Harvard student, how do you feel like it impacted your life?
How did I impact my life? That is
Because like I have heard so many people say, get into Ivy Leagues. It's something very standard for everyone. But like, how does it help me? Like, if I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars as college tuition fees, what am I taking more than just some books? Like, what is there more than just books?
This is a fantastic question, and this is a great topic that I was going to dive into. If it's okay, I'm gonna talk about it now. So to me, right, like, education can like it's pretty much free in the
Yeah.
world, right? Like
I agree
you
with
can-
you 100%.
Right. You can go to community college, you can get an associate degree, you can get a bachelor's, you can go to like the number one school. You can get it for free anywhere you want. So what makes the difference? Why do you want to go to school? Why do you want to go to great school? Right? Do you know the
Right.
answer to that?
I mean, from what I've concluded, it's the professor, the mentors, the activities, and the crowd you're surrounded by. So
Right,
do
exactly.
you believe it's worth it paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for such a crowd? And what's your answer to that?
I believe yes. I think you go to a great school not solely because of the education. You go there because of the people around you, your peers, your professors, right? And when you say, all right, is it worth it to do it? It really depends on the person, right? So let's say if I'm an introvert, right, and I don't hang out with anybody, and all I do is I stay in the dorm, I shut the door, I don't interact with anybody, it's a waste of money, right? So to
Yeah.
make your money worth, right, you first need to pass off the standards, and then you need to get into the school, and then you need to put yourself out there. I know sometimes it's uncomfortable, right?
I
Interact with
get
people
it.
could be uncomfortable. Get yourself out there, interact, join clubs, do any sort of activities, and and go to office hours. Be friends with your professors, because the value of this education, of this experience, usually comes after college, comes after school. Let's say I'm done with school, I'm starting my entrepreneurship. I need someone to support my business or give me feedback. You go to them.
Yeah.
It's the value that they can create for you.
Even like, so for example, I'm aiming for National University of Singapore because I really love working
Yeah.
and I believe I can get some really good contacts there. So what would you say about it?
Can you repeat your question one more time?
So like I am planning on NUS, National University of Singapore, and I really love working and I love talking to people and interacting. So what would you say about that?
So are you saying that you have yet to made up your mind? You're not sure
Yes.
whether you want to go to school? I think, first of all, this is a discussion that you need to have with your parents. And of course, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I've had this discussion with them. I want to go to college for sure, 100%. I would love that. But many people have told me that this environment in Singapore is quite crushing and competitive.
Right. I think that's always something that like many kids will have. They will love to work. They would like to get the experience, and they also get pressure from their family to get a good education. I think what you can try to do is take a gap year, get a year off, go travel, go volunteer, go do something that you like, but then still obtain that golden ticket though. So you
Okay.
can get the admission and then go to the admission officer and say, hey, could you postpone my time to get into the college? You have plans.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't be afraid of failing, right? You can be a year late, you can be 2 years late. That's all right. At the end of the day, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy the most, right? Because you can go into college right now, you finish your degree in 4 years, and after you come out of college, you'll be like, what is this? I don't want this life. I don't want to sit behind a desk all day, every day. So
Yeah.
find your
We have a
passion.
question from Nishchay also. Nishchay, go ahead.
Hi, Alex. My question is, if I'm not able to join Harvard offline, so are the online courses equally beneficial and that are provided by Harvard, or are the offline courses better, like physically going there, or are the online courses also good?
A lot of the online courses at Harvard that they offer, they're recordings from the actual lecture. You can take classes and get finish off the requirements and get a certificate in the end. Right. If you're there purely for the knowledge, I would say yes. The professors there, they create very great content. Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, now Siri Vadlamudi, and now who's the? This is Adar Sadanandan. So can I know your name,
This
please?
is Aditi. Aditi.
Yeah, Aditi. Aditi, first you ask your question. Your hand was
Okay.
raised first.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Alex. I wanted to ask you, since you majored in data science and computer science, did you do it because you were like a big STEM nerd and you liked the fields, or did you do it for the money? Because like these are really in-demand fields, right? So did you do it because it was good for you or because you wanted to?
I would say there's a mixture of both, and I'm gonna tell you my story. So when I first started in college, I did accounting and finance. I was in the business school. I was a direct admit to a business school, and then I started doing that. And then the experience was very, very different, right? You give business presentation, you get these numbers, and at the same time, I was doing med school. There's some pre-med courses I have to fulfill, so I was doing that. And somewhere, I think when I was a sophomore, I realized that, oh, if I want to make data-driven, if I want to be analytical, then I need to be able to write my own program. I need to be able to come up with my own analysis. I can't just go to Google and say, hey, like, what is the answer to this? I need to be able to think independently and critically. So that's why I dive into to coding, to programming, and I've been enjoying since then. And after I graduated, I realized that, oh, the pay is quite nice, but yeah, but that happens after the fact. When I was in school, I didn't think about money. I mainly focus on what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I had another question as well.
Sure.
So, like at a school like Harvard, right, when people are like the best of the best, do they still hate teachers' pets?
Do they have
Like,
teachers' pets?
do they still hate people who kiss up to the teachers? Because you said you should be friends with your professor. Like
Sorry.
in the traditional sense, people tend to hate the students that try to be really close to the professor. So does that happen at Harvard, where if you try to be friends with your professor, do people hate you for it?
Right.
I know it's
No.
kind of an odd question.
Right. So I guess my question is, they're haters everywhere. When they can perform as well as you, they talk behind your back. But I think at Harvard, the environment it's quite friendly. The professors, the TAs, they care about your performance. So they have a lot of these open office hours or seminars that you can participate, and you have a lot of chances to go, and you have happy hours, right? Yeah, you guys will have food, have drinks. You go there, and it's casual, it's open. So it's an opportunity for students to interact with the professors. Like they encourage this kind of this vibe, this kind of spirit. So not really at Harvard, to answer your question. Yes.
Siri, can we have your question?
Yeah, hi Alex, it's nice to meet you. So you mentioned earlier that it's important to get out of our dorm and participate in activities in university. So I was wondering if you could tell us about any interesting activities that you participated in Emory or Harvard.
Oh, okay. At Emory, this is one of my biggest regrets. Okay, looking back, when I was in college, I would say my biggest regret was that I did not have enough fun. I did not get myself out there. I did not party enough. I did not network enough, right? I was always in the library. As I mentioned, I was really focused on studying, and I was doing double major, a lot of things going on. So I was always in the library, studying, doing my assignments. But after I graduated, right, everybody graduated. We all got the diploma. So what does, like, it doesn't mean anything, right? So this is why after I got into grad school, I started thinking, yeah, of course, I need to make sure that I'm doing well in school, right? I have to pass all my classes, but it's getting A+, my top priority? No, right? As long as I understand the content, I'm able to think, I'm able to figure things out, then that's for me. And so you asked what kind of activities would I join? I'm open-minded. Right, so it could be student-based or college-based. Whenever there's an event and I'm interested in it, I will go. It's oftentimes free, so be open-minded and just get yourself out there. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And I had one more question. You mentioned about a double major, and I was also planning to pursue a double major, and I was wondering if you found that it was too overwhelming at points.
Double major. When it comes to double major, it depends on whether these two majors are in the same field, in the same direction, or are you pursuing something very different. If one major is in music, the other one is in computer science, then you have very different courses or requirements to fulfill. So if you want to do double major, perhaps find something that you like, find something that's relevant, and something that's not too on the extremes. Okay. And at least in the US, you can always switch. at some point, let's say you get to your sophomore year, junior year, you realize that this is too overwhelming. Switch it to a minor or just drop one of the majors. It's okay. Yeah, you're still able to graduate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. And Marco, you have a question?
Hi, Alex. I'm Marco. I'm from IPS school. I was supposed to come a bit earlier, but I was running a bit late today. I wanted to ask something a bit more connected to the topic of what we were just talking about, socialization. Would you say it's more beneficial to be more sociable than more educated while you were in college?
Sociable or educated, or
Yeah,
Did you
would
say-
you say that you would want to be more sociable, like go out more, have more friends, or would you rather focus on your education more while at college? Since you mentioned that everybody graduated either way.
I would say you have to find a balance, right? Study is important. School comes first before anything, but as long as you can, I think as long as you can get an A minus, a B plus, like the amount of effort that you go from an F, like failing, to a B, it's probably the same as going from an A minus to an A. Like the amount of effort, amount of time that you have to push yourself to reach that, it's probably the same. The question, this is what I meant, is that worth it, right? To go from A to A plus, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't even impact your GPA. So I would say you have to find the balance, but just remember, school comes first. As long as your grades are not too bad, maintain a B plus, A minus should be fine, and make connections, go network. This is the most important thing. Why you go to college? I think going to college is about education for sure. And once you get into grad school, the spectrum, the focus switches. When you get to grad school, education has a less priority. Focus on how to solve problems. That's different, right? So how to solve problems, it's not something that they would teach in school. So there's something, the focus is switch when you go from undergrad to grad school. So for undergrad, education, and then grad school, be social, like that.
Thank you. That answers my question perfectly.
Yeah.
Tanya. There are lots
Yes,
of questions coming your way. Yeah, Tanya, go on.
So my question was that as sir mentioned that he went to Harvard. So what would he think set him apart that he got in there? Like, what did he think in his application was up to the mark that they accepted him?
Right. To answer that question, like what separates my application from others? I'm just going to give a really quick background info. I talked to the host about it earlier. It doesn't sound very genuine, but I think there's a story that I should share. For me, after college, I worked in a research lab for a year. And then during that 1 year, I wasn't happy because I feel like med school wasn't for me, research wasn't for me, and I really like entrepreneurship and business. So then I would like to quit the job. And I have Asian parents as well, like traditional Asian parents, Asian mom, and she was like, oh, so do you want to, like, what are you going to do after you quit your job? Do you want to go to the industry, or you want to go back to school? It was too late for me to go to the industry at the time. I did not have any technical experiments, or I did not prep any of that. So then I said, all right, school might be my only choice. But then I just want to upset my mom. So I chose 4 of the toughest schools that you can get into in the US, Harvard, Yale, Chicago, UChicago, and UPenn. And then my thought was that I'm not going to get into any of them, obviously, I like in my mind. And I just applied just so I can tell my mom that, hey, I did not get into anywhere, so bye. I'm just going to quit my job. And then I get in, and so that's here I am. Probably got lucky for sure. But in terms of how my application separated me from the rest, I would say during my time, like when I was doing research, although I didn't like my job, I still gave everything I got every day. right? I was doing 50, 60 hours a day, and I was able to publish many papers during that time, like research papers. And when you publish research papers, you're essentially telling the admission officers what you're capable of doing. Are you able to conduct your own experiments? Are you able to tell your own story, to dictate the direction of your story? And then I also did a startup project right after college, and it went well. And then in the end, we sold that. And these are the stories that I talked about in my application, in my essay. Because most students, they're not going to publish 7 papers in a short period of time. They're not going to have a startup company right after college. So do something unique. Don't just say, hey, I got straight A's. I'm number 1 in my class from this school. These stats, they don't mean anything to the admission officer. Do something unique. Go to Africa. Go volunteer. Go see something different. Go volunteer at a zoo. And tell a unique story. I don't want to. If you were to say, if I were to say, hey, education, it's important. Everyone can say that, right? But how are you going to demonstrate this thought, this ideology? It's the most important thing that you should show in your college application.